question, what if I become incapacitated and I have a trust? Let's hear the answer from Attorney Raja Bhandari from the Law Office of Raja Bhandari in Sex and Settlements.
Good afternoon, this is Raja Bhandari from Sex and Settlements, Raja Bhandari Law Offices of Annandale, Virginia. Welcome back to Qanun. Friends, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's continue with our discussion on the trust agreement, will and trust, why you should have and why it is very important for you and your beneficiary in future. As we discussed last time, the trust agreement is a very, very important tool, and then it saves lots of hassles, lots of money, and the transaction is very smooth. You don't have to probate, and of course you have to fund the trust, you have to transfer everything on your trust name, so that way you can easily pass through those assets to your beneficiary, to your kids. Now, I have a lot of questions, as I mentioned that of course on trust I will be talking in the forthcoming weeks again. The first question is that what happens if I become incapacitated and I have a trust? Of course, as I discussed a long time back, when you provide a power of attorney, durable power of attorney, that is one document in the estate planning, and the second in the estate planning, in the trust itself rather, we mention always in the event you as a trustee of the trust is you not capable of doing your duties, then the successor trustee can come in place. The successor trustee first will be your spouse, and then after that whoever you appoint that. For example, we discussed that husband and wife scenario and two kids. When the husband has a problem, let's say that he is very sick, he cannot make any decision anymore, and then he is in the hospital, then spouse is his co-trustee or the successor trustee in place, so that spouse will be making all the decisions that he should have or according to the directions in the trust for him and for her. So, let's say that hypothetically speaking, spouse is also unwell and she is also in hospital, and then at the same time, then the next successor trustee in place that will handle that all the situation according to the trust. Now, in this particular matter, let's say that both of them in hospital, then according to the trust, the successor trustee will manage their affairs and then manage their hospital life, take care of them according to their wishes, and that wishes can be in medical power of attorney, that wishes can be in medical directive, it can be in living will, and it can be also in the trust. So, this is how you can manage your affair without going to the court, without going to probate. Even you are still alive, it can work for your favor as well as kids' favor. Now, the next question I have, who control my assets in a trust? You do. So, during your lifetime, you have complete control of your assets. As I mentioned before, because you are the trustee of your trust as well as you are the beneficiary, first beneficiary. After you, your spouse is the one. After spouse, your kids are the one. But at the same time, during your lifetime, you can make all the decisions that you want to make, that in an appropriate fashion that you think that is proper, that it is for your benefit. And then of course, you can amend that trust anytime, rescind that trust anytime. I have one scenario that this is the question is that, how about that if my son or daughter is not behaving? Well, this is a very common problem, common questions. Look, life is such a way you have to give whatever you earned, you made during your lifetime to someone who you love. But at the same time, some situations happen in life that kids are not listening and they are not behaving the way you want them to do it. You have absolute right to transfer, you have absolute right to take them out of the trust and replace with them whoever you wish. It can be any temple, it can be any charity for that matter, and I have seen it during my last 14 years in this particular practice area, that I have seen that the the trustees, initial trustees and the beneficiary and who prepare the trust, they change the beneficiary because they do not like the situation later part of their life. So, it is totally in your hands. So, when you ask a question, who control? Absolutely you control. Now, the next question is that how do my assets get into my trust? I mentioned before, but I will mention again, when it comes to real estate, we prepare a proper deed and record that in the land records of where the property is situated. That is how you transfer property. When it comes to the bank accounts, you have to make your trust beneficiary or your kids beneficiary in that BOD fashion. And when it comes to 401k, your life insurance policy, obviously you can make the trust as a beneficiary. So, when trust is beneficiary after you, all that benefit from that particular account goes to your trust account. And now the last question I will take today, how much time does it take to legally prepare? It is a long, it is a very lengthy document. It is not a 5 pages, 10 pages situation. The one we prepare in our office, according to, most of the time it takes good 125 pages or above for each trust, for husband and the wife. So, there are 2 books, it's just like a books. However, it depends upon the time. It does take good, 4 to 6, so 7 days, give or take. That again depends upon the urgency that we can sometime work overnight to prepare, because this is a very important issue, because we do not want to take chances that if something happened to the person. Friends, I will take more questions later on. Please send us as many as questions you can. Again, this is Raja Bhandari. So long.